Hi folks, been some time since I've done a recording with a video camera, but I'm needing to do so because the electricity power has gone off, so I can't use my computer to make an audio recording. So maybe I'm supposed to do a video camera a video camera recording. I haven't done one for some time. Yeah. We don't realize subtle ways how we've grown. I mean, I've realized it for myself. We don't realize it. I mean, we are growing all the time, and we are changing all the time, which I spoke about in this video that I was just doing before the power sort of went off and my computer shut down. I was talking about how growth is happening all the time, and we are changing and expanding all the time, and we are developing all the time. Not just outwardly, but inwardly as well. Okay, so we don't even realize it sometimes. Now, let me give an example. I just started appreciating a few moments ago, like how the talk that I did was rather deep. Okay, I think it's called the deeper, richer experience, and I was appreciating that in the past I wouldn't have been comfortable or even dared to upload such a video. But now I upload it, and I'm busy working on it. I'm going to upload it, and I feel more comfortable with it. Now I have to pay attention to that to notice the difference. As in the past, where I didn't feel comfortable about it, and I would actually stop myself and resist myself from uploading it, to where I am now feeling there's a little bit of hesitation about it, but not as much. And that's in the background. I think that, so wow, what's going on there, right? Why don't I have such a resistance? Why am I more comfortable now uploading such a video, or many videos? Like, wow, what's changed about me? And so that's a thought that I'm thinking about now, and I know why I was hesitant to upload previous videos, or videos that were rather deep. I think my videos are pretty deep, but I know they're deep, and I know that in the past I was hesitant to upload it because of their very nature, because I was scared of and afraid to speak about my deep, rich experience of existence in life and my insights. I was nervous to see, not if people are going to like it. I'm not bothered. I'm not making it and say, well, I hope people like it or something. Like, it's not about that. And if they don't like, it's rather that I'm not going to feel ashamed. That's what it is. I feel ashamed because I felt for myself, for growing up, and when I was younger, when I was a youngster, maybe a child, or whatever it is, I felt ashamed of my depth. I felt that there was something wrong with me for experiencing life on such a deeper, richer, and sensitive level. Okay, and I felt ashamed, and I was made to feel ashamed for myself. And so whenever, obviously now, when I try to express myself on a very much deeper level, there was a voice inside my head, and sort of a very uncomfortable feeling saying, don't do it, man, don't do it, and I didn't understand why I don't do it, right? I didn't investigate far enough. I mean, I just said, well, okay, I'm not going to do it. I feel maybe I'm embarrassed. I wouldn't know that it was a shame at the time, but I just knew that it wasn't I didn't want to do it. I just didn't feel comfortable. I don't know why. All right, but I realized it was a shame. I mean, maybe, yeah. And so now I'm not so much ashamed anymore. I mean, to upload videos of speaking on really deep levels. There is a little bit of an anxiety about it still, and there is a little bit of a fear, because when you share yourself in a authentic and real way, your real direct experience. I mean, for myself at least. So there is still a little bit of left over. I can't remember. Okay, that's what I think it is. I mean, I'm trying to understand this. So, but now I also say, well, what do I have to lose? Okay, let's get onto that. What do I have to lose? I mean, this is what I feel I need to say. This is what I feel is maybe important to others and important to myself. And this is what I feel. And this is how I see things. And this is how I experience things. This is how I understand things. And so this is how I'm going to share it. I'm not going to be apologetic for it. I'm not going to be apologetic for being able to express what I need to express and share what I need to share and what I feel might be useful to others. Okay, and that's on the one hand. And on the other hand, I don't care if people think that I'm too deep or like I've lost my mind. I don't care anymore. I mean, I don't think I'm being... I don't think I've lost my mind or I've lost the plot. I don't think so. I just think in contrast to the way that I see the world, to others generally, is much deeper. I'm saying the contrast is massive, right? To the people in my life, right? The way that I see and experience the ocean of consciousness or awareness or something like that, the experience of the now, the freshness of the now, for myself and where they are at, it's extreme. It's absolutely extreme. And so, for myself, I'm saying a couple of things here, not trying to lose my point here, is that you feel like strange. You feel very weird. You feel like a weirdo, And I was told I was a weirdo growing up, and so you feel like a weirdo. So, for what I'm saying is that there is that still, that little bits of pieces that are still left over. There's still that bits of feeling sort of so separated and removed from other people, like the loneliness, that there is still that, and then also the fear of exposing yourself to realizing, when, let's say, other people listen to it, like, oh my goodness me, this is who this guy is, like this is how he sees life. I mean, we see it this way, or like from this perspective, and he sees it from this perspective, or whatever, and like, I didn't even know how to relate to this guy. I didn't even know how to talk to this guy. I mean, I can imagine when I was a child, my parents probably being that way. Not my parents or friends or whoever it was, the teachers at school, it was like, this guy, I don't know, he's too eccentric, he's too out there, he's too all over the show. It's like, oh man, I can't make head or tail, or whatever it is, he's a weirdo. People give you that funny look. And I probably got that look all the time. Okay, and so what I'm saying is that, coming back to that now, is that there is a little bit inside of me of that maybe response or reaction from people, and then I'm going to identify myself as sort of a weirdo, as sort of as an outcast, as sort of a black sheep, as sort of a square peg in a round hole or something like that. Somebody who's not part of the tribe, part of the hive mind, part of the thinking, part of the model, or something like that of the culture. That narrative. It's like you're going to be a heretic, you're kind of the outsider and whatever it is. And that's what I'd be doing. And maybe in a way, I felt by even talking about myself, I was self-sabotaging. Sabotaging, is that the word? Yeah. But I'm saying by like voicing my depth, okay, voicing my sensitivity, talking to others about it, was actually a form of self-sabotage. And it was getting me into trouble when I was growing up. And so I stopped doing it. And so for myself, obviously, maybe my ego or something else comes about and says, whoa, wait a minute here, dude, man. Before you think about what you're doing, and think about if you want to be doing this. So there is a bit of resistance, but it's not as strong as it was before. And that's what I'm saying, is that through a long process of going against the grind, I'm saying the voice, or going against my conditioning, going against my so-called better judgment, which wasn't better judgment, okay, going against that, regardless, it's made it easier for me, the process of expressing myself without a resistance, without too much self-doubt, without too much concern of how it might be seen from other people. And it's made me more free, if you want to say it that way. It's made me more free. But it's taken, I don't know how, it's still taking. It's taking years. It's taken years of practices and trial and error and time again, putting myself out there, doing that which I was told not to do, but doing it anyways. Believing in myself rather than the opinion of others, to do what I feel is natural and organic to who I am and authentic to who I am, then rather what other people have to say. To value myself and my needs and my purpose more than what others might have in mind for me, what they might think that is for me, right? And so it's a process of growing up, and it's a process of getting stronger, okay, in a way. And it's a process of gaining more confidence, and self-acceptance and self-allowance, all right? So every time, let's say, I do pick up the camera, I'm not at war with myself. I'm not like, you shouldn't be doing this, don't do it, you're going to make a fool of yourself, you're going to kick yourself out of the tribe, you're going to isolate yourself, people are going to look at you with a stinker, whatever it is. So I don't have that so much anymore. And so there isn't this blockage in a way at times. Sometimes there's a different kind of blockages, but there isn't, it's more of a free flow. And my point to what I'm saying here is that we need to do the healing in ourselves in order so that what is inside can flow out. That is not blocked, that is not hindered, that is not limited, okay, by the construct of the mind, by the construct of the emotions of fear, of regret, of doubt and emotion maybe, I don't know, that we find that free flow, we find that flow that we're in, we find that synergy in whatever it is, the Tao, the way of ourselves that allows us to unfold without hindrance, without obstacle, without regret, And so that's what I'm saying, it's a healing process, and the only way to get to these places of growth is by facing head on the fear, right? It's not saying that I'm not going to have fear to make a video. That's cheap talk. I'm not going to have, I'm just going to, in the beginning, what I'm saying is that sometimes people say, don't have any fear. So, no, you've got to work through fear. You've got to face the fears. You can't just get rid of the fears. This is something else. You can't just get rid of the fears and then, think I'm not going to have any fear, and fear's not going to, it's there. You have to face the fear, right? You have to face the uncertainty to become more certain. You can't just, this is a talk for another time in regards to fear, because people say no fear. It's like, get rid of it. It doesn't work to just get rid of it. So you've got to face the fear. That's another conversation completely. And so that's what I'm saying, is that you're gaining more inner ground in yourself. You're gaining more inner strength. You're gaining more inner foundation by going against that which is you're afraid of, in a way, that which you feel is you're fearful of. You see, but we've got to be careful, because sometimes people will say, well, this is a genuine fear of mine, all right? I don't want to get too carried away, but I do feel that there's something coming up now that I want to just sort of address in regards to this idea. People say, well, I don't have any fear, so to drink and drive. I don't have any fear to drink and drive alcohol and drive my car. Screw the fear, I don't care. See, that's stupid. That fear is absolutely healthy, right? I remember Mike Tyson, when they were chatting to him, and he says, of course I have a fear. He says, yes, I'm the world champion for I don't know how many years and how many times in a row. But of course I have fear of my opponent, because that fear is going to teach me something, that it's real, that there is a challenge here, that there is something that I need to bring the best of who I am forward, so in order to to overcome this challenge, to beat my opponent. I respect that there is this fear, and that he could be better than me, right? And that he could pound me, and I could lose my title. There is that fear, but it's a healthy fear, because that healthy fear then is telling me, fine, work on yourself, train, focus, dedicate, etc., sacrifice, in order to get to the place where that fear is not completely overwhelming you or blocking you. Where now you see it's a healthy, it's a response to fear, where you're building the confidence against the fear, and that fear is still going to be there, but eventually it's not going to be controlling you. It's going to be reminding you that there is something that you should be respecting. That's what I'm talking about, right? There is a sense of healthy fear which we should be respecting. Okay, don't just think for yourself, well, I'm going to say however I want to feel, no one's going to limit me, whatever. So that, okay, fine in some circles, but if you go to your workplace and you want to speak your mind to your boss, You want to tell you, make sure you have a plan of another job lined up if you're going to speak your mind often of the time. If you're not going to fear what other people are going to have to think of you, in certain times. I mean, in this case, because if you're going to go to your boss and tell him what an a-hole he is or whatever it is, and say, look, I'm just expressing myself. I'm just, I have no fear of the consequences. I mean, for crying out loud, fear of, we live in a world now where there's no fear of consequences, right? So now I'm getting onto something else, but I think that's worth mentioning is that for myself, is it a reasonable fear to stop making videos because I'm afraid of what other people are going to think of me? Is that reasonable? No, it's not reasonable. Is that a healthy reaction? No, it's not a healthy reaction, right? So some people, they want to lose weight. They want to go on a diet. They want to shapen up. They have a fear that all their other friends and family are going to say, oh, you think you're so... I mean, we all know this. We all know this. As soon as you try and get healthy in some way or another, people come and they sort of, wanting to cut you down and say, who do you think you are? Or something like that. Or you want to change a lifestyle. You want to meditate. You want to become a meditator. You want to do some yoga. Whatever it is. You want to take some psychedelics and then people start looking at you all funny, whatever it is, right? And they start looking at you that way. Now, you have a fear about the way... You can have a fear, but I mean, is that a healthy response, a fear to have? Like to say, okay, I'm not going to do diet, I'm not going to start yoga, I'm not going to meditate, I'm not going to change my lifestyle out of the fear of what other people are going to think of me. Is that a healthy fear? No. I mean that's an unhealthy fear. That's an unhealthy fear. Okay. Should you have a fear about spending all your money on, I don't know, a new set of sunglasses or a new car, that you won't be able to afford to pay your rent? Yeah, you should have a fear about that. Sadly enough, in our culture and society, we have fears about the wrong things, Just like our world is upside down, we fear the wrong things. We fear the fact that people are not going to notice us for not having the latest cell phone or the latest car or the latest hairstyle or something like that. We should have a fear of not feeling comfortable to be who we want to be without the cell phone, without the hairstyle, without the fashion, without whatever it is, So there's almost like a fear to be who you are, a taboo to be who you are, then there is a fear to be a part of society and culture. Interesting that, folks. But indeed, that is the case. We could probably go on that for a while if you think about it. Our fear is not about, in culture, being grandiose. It's about being humble. About, not being a narcissist, right? Not being cutthroat. I'm saying, don't have a fear of being a Jordan Belford, type of thing. Guy from Wolf of Wall Street. Don't have a fear of being immoral. Don't have a fear of making a fool out of yourself or sexually exploiting yourself, or something like that. Don't have a fear. Don't even have a fear about your health. Don't even have a fear about how much time you spend on Facebook and Instagram and what it might be doing to you. Have a fear of being somebody who's respectable. Have a fear of somebody who's humble. Have a fear of somebody who's, what am I saying? You see, I lost my point there. A fear of not being somebody who's humble, of not being somebody who's a narcissist, if that makes sense. We can go on, folks, we really can. But I think I'm going to end off on that for now, and we'll chat soon. Take care, be well.